Yeah, I hate to be the one, but it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. We've long past the times of sugarcoating shit and praising white people for the bare minimum. And that does not stop because the white person in question is a child. Some of you might disagree with me, but I do not care. It is what it is. And by the way, this has nothing to do with the creator of this video. Much respect and props to your son and to you for raising him right. This is more of using this particular video as an example to other white people and the way y'all raise your kids. I know, many people, they always say children are off limits. And I heavily disagree. And I would die on that hill. Because that benefit of the doubt, historically and socially, only applies to white children. And that's kind of weird, if you ask me. Because let me just quickly recall, children like Trayvon Martin, they are not given the benefit of the doubt. He was never given the benefit of the doubt. So children are off limits, maybe in your head, I don't know. But systemically, they are not. And also, just for reference, there's this beautiful saying that says it takes a village to raise a child. And some of us do not have a village, unfortunately. However, the moment your children are old enough to speak for themselves, they are old enough to take accountability and responsibility for their actions. Age appropriate, of course. So no. It's either all children are off limits, and that, funny enough, includes black children, indigenous children, children of color, or none are off limits. And since you all want to use that double standard and give white children the constant benefit of the doubt and praise white children the same way you praise white people for doing the absolute bare minimum, let's keep the same energy, shall we? Because that's when y'all get uncomfortable. Oh, it's just a child. Oh, he doesn't know any better. Fuck that, okay? Fuck it. Of course, children are a product of their parents. That's common fucking sense. And the child in the video I stitched, which I want to believe is going to grow up to know better, to do better because he's being taught better, right? But that's an exception. He is an absolute exception. And I highly praise I highly respect the mother for that, in setting the bar higher, as she should. Because historically, white people, and the bar for us has been in fucking hell. So we need to do better, and that mother is doing better, and that should be commended. That should be respected, and I do that. But as per usual, point one, white people are not activists. Let's not get shit twisted, okay? And point two, your activism is not activism if it's not intersectional, and most of all, if it doesn't start within yourself. Because if your white child can go and swing the Palestinian flag or swing the kufiya, that's beautiful and that's nice. But does your child know about racism? Does your child know about their own privilege? Age appropriate, of course. Because you're like, why do you want to spoil the mind of innocent children? Listen, if non-white children are old enough to experience racism, yours are old enough to learn about racism. It's that simple. And if you want your kids to be better people, you do just that. Nobody's saying that's an easy conversation to have. Nobody's saying that's a nice conversation to have or something that you want to have at the dinner table. But parents of black children, of mixed children, of indigenous children, of every child that is not white or socially perceived as such, has to have this conversation long before your children even know that they are different skin colors. So if we can have these conversations at our dinner tables, because our children are systemically not given the benefit of the doubt and systemically continuously being put into certain stereotypes and racially profiled, etc., yours are old enough to hate. I don't give a fuck. There is nothing like coddling white people's feelings, and that does not stop just because the white person in charge or that in question is a child. Okay? Because teach them young. The younger, the better. Like, I vividly remember the whole conversation about critical race theory being taught in American schools, and white parents were furious. They were furious. They were, oh, do you want our children to grow up with the mindset that they are racist? Yes! Yes, that's what I want. I want white children to know that they hold systemic power simply for the way we look. I want them to know that. And I want them to know that as early as they can comprehend it. And that can be at 3, at 4, depending on the child. I want them to know that, if possible, right from their diapers age. Because non-white kids experience racism once they come out the womb. So tell me why the fuck your kids are not old enough or matured enough or developed enough to understand that there is systemic oppression attached to our skin color as the predator of oppression. No. Stop coddling white people's feelings. Stop coddling white people's feelings of all ages. I don't care how old the child is or that the person in question is. I absolutely do not care. I do not care. You'll teach your kids it's not okay to hit. It's not okay to curse. It's not okay to do this. And every child understands that. Every child understands that if you hit, in that moment, you're the bad person and you have to apologize. Tell me why the fuck your child should not understand that there are social hierarchies. You can make everything child-friendly and child-appropriate. And the fact that you are continuously give your children this packing them up. I mean, like, oh my God, I don't want them to be spoiled with this mindset. I don't want them to think they are part of the problem. They are! White people are part of the problem. We've always been the problem. The fuck? So at the bottom line, if you're not like the mother I stitched and the child I stitched, you are doing it wrong. And the result of that, you are literally on the wrong side of history. And when time comes, you will be dealt with accordingly. That is just the way it is.